that the whole concept around BIM as a project method has just been clouded by tech.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It does. And I'll tell you what I thought BIM was. I will make you laugh.
Do you know how hard I worked to be termed privileged?
And it works in my favor. And it's not because now I'm all there being all, now I am so sexy. Ooh, you know, but it's.
Why then construction? Why are you here?
What do you mean?
Why are you here if you're not a construction person?
They will choke you alive. They will, you know, when you think about a construction woman in 2023, like even if you were like to Google construction woman, the pictures you will see, they depict nothing of women like you. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's so important for us to tell the stories and the narratives of the women that love construction, that chose construction, because a lot of people go into it and it's just like, I just found myself in it, you know. Besides me reading your bio and everything that is written there in perfect English, you know, don't you get tired of speaking English? Like I feel like you're always doing a webinar, or you or you're doing some sort of thing. Don't you get tired of speaking English, Amanda?
Not really. Like I switch on off kind of thing. I switch on and off.
So just
You know what I liked about you? I remember when I first heard like one of your webinars, and you know, like in webinars, I mean, I've got like a 2-minute attention span, so it's very easy. It's very easy to lose me. Like you will lose me if like your intro is not like punchy enough for me to say, okay, I want to listen to you. And the way that you tackled something that is not spoken of. No, also I think it was just because a black woman was saying it. I don't know. It resonated. I know it resonated. Professionally, okay, let's put it here. Professionally, when you walk out the door and you're saying you want to make money, how is it that you do it?
All right, so my discipline, passion, profession is construction management. Okay. I'm a qualified construction manager, and that's what I do. So with that cap, I then do a whole lot of other things. Primarily, I lecture at UCT. That's like the salary that OSARS knows. So that's the main personal tax type of, yes. So I lecture at UCT at the Department of Construction, Economics and Management, and I lecture construction management related courses.
Being a lecturer and obviously being part of the pipeline that is breeding a lot of the people that are in construction right now, how would you say is like, how is it, what is the game looking like in terms of just like from an educational perspective? What are your students like? What are they like? Are they eager? Are they, you know, like, where are they in terms, because, you know, sometimes like I remember when I was in varsity, like my thinking and my eagerness towards different sectors of just construction was totally different to what I am now. So what do you feel? What are the feelings in the lecture room? How are they feeling?
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. So it's quite an interesting one for us, because construction as a discipline or as an industry has never been attractive. Let me put it like that. When you're talking teens about to decide on what to study, I don't think construction is on anyone's head, just like engineering or, you know, being a lawyer and all that type of stuff. So we get students who just when they have registered for the degree, they also don't know what they're in for.
Ooh.
We have, you know, that pool, we have those who do know, but luckily, because I mean, I'm at UCT and the, you know, admission criteria and we get good students, right? So they are good academic students, but they might not know the technicalities of what they are in for. So it's quite an interesting set in a sense where at the same time you're trying to push theories, academic, this, that, but the larger part of what we do in our department is trying to instill that passion within the students, because they would be so confused maybe up until second or third year. And I particularly teach in a degree where at the end of 3 years, they need to decide whether they do quantity surveying or construction management. And the feedback from them is always a case of, but ma'am, what do I do here? What do I do there? You could tell that even from a third year level, they're still a bit not so comfortable in knowing what they will do in
Where they
industry.
wanna go,
Because it's not, it's not the primary top of the range type of first selection kind of degree. So that's the classroom setup. Interesting students, they eager to know more about construction, but largely I think for them it's always about the job prospects. Where am I going to work, career this? So the more we answer such, the more they get passionate in terms of, oh, this is why I gotta do this. This is why I gotta love this.
And where can you make the most money?
Yes. Oh, that's a primary question. It's like, okay, 2 degrees, which one pays more? So we need to go back and be like, besides the pay, you gotta factor the hours that you work, passion. It's like, talk money.
How passionate are you for this industry? Like when it comes to, like how we all have like a mission statement, or that story that you tell yourself to make things good, or to kind of find your way in anything. What is your story about construction? Like why, maybe in simple terms, why construction? Why did you go into it?
So I'll try to be as brief as possible.
Oh, go for it. I know you're a lecturer. Like, you're about to give me a 5-point presentation about what was it about?
So high school, we had career sessions. I've always, chartered accountancy was at the top of the list because it had the highest salary. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be a chartered accountant. The parents are like, go be a doctor. I'm like, no. I never ever wanted to be a doctor. I think, the blood, the theater. I would cry every time on top of my patients. Goodness, I would feel the pain with them. Well, I created an activist group in high school because our stream, we had science, geography, maths, that type. And because I wanted to be a chartered accountant, but at the same time, I loved physics. So I didn't want to not do physics and do accounting.
Okay.
So we wrote a big memo, Department of Education. We're like, can you please allow us to change our subjects? We know they are standards, but we would like to add accounting. So I really, really wanted to be a chartered accountant. I did that much effort. Only to later on get a visit from a group of recruiters from a program called Go for Gold. And
this was in high school?
This was in high school. And the short of it is that from that session, they left me loving construction. So the main things that they were saying was that there's a shortage of Black professionals in the construction industry, right? And then there's a shortage of women in construction industry. And then when I thought, I'm like, okay, I don't hear the same in chartered accountancy. And I mean, I just always wanted to stand out type of thing.
You're like,
why? But I'm like, man, here's an opportunity here. Yeah. Why don't women want this industry? So from that point forward, I started doing my own research, that, construction. And the program was amazing. So Go for Gold is the program that got me into construction.
Okay.
They had extra tutorials for us so that we can qualify into engineering programs and all of that.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and then they had a contract where you need to commit to take a gap year after your high school. So that you go work in industry, you work with construction companies and all of that.
That's so nice.
It's amazing. So nice. It's still running, by the way, so I'll share the info on that.
Please, that's so nice. That is so nice.
So grade 12 June, that's 2006, I went and worked for WBHO. So all the school holidays that year, I would work at the WBHO site, get to shadow construction managers, quantity surveyors, and all of that.
Must be nice, Amanda.
Right? So they were doing this Newlands project here in Cape Town, and so I got involved with that. So that's how far back I got into construction, as early as 2006. But even before that, from the grade 10, 11, 12, So part of being in that Go for Gold program was that during your high school years, you get to visit construction companies because they just wanted you to make an informed decision so that it's not a failed investment type of thing. So they wanted to expose us so much so that by the time that they pay for our degrees, we can also be sure that we want to be in this.
Exactly, like you're not making a decision.
Yes.
You're not making a mistake. You know exactly what you're getting into. Yeah.
So that's the short answer to say Go for Gold is the program that made me love construction. So I got to work on construction sites and then I was loving it. I registered for construction studies at UCT and it's been that since.
Can we have a moment of silence for Go for Gold? Thank you, Go for Gold. You.
Looking for my I've got it's somewhere in the house.
Ini, what's in the house?
I got
It as the first honorary ambassador of the program, meaning,
Go for Gold.
Ooh, so they looked at all the students they've had, the ones who've progressed in their careers and all of that. So they gave me that lovely title to be an ambassador.
Well done, Amanda.
Yeah.
Well done. God.
And I currently serve on their board of directors now. So yeah, we're doing amazing work still.
No, you are. You.
How did you get? I see that you give a lot of talks about BIM and all of that. How did you get into that?
Okay, so I worked in industry before joining UCT, ne? And then one of the professors there was a post for this lecture position that I'm in now. She was like, hey, apply. I'm like, hey, I'm not interested in academia, corporate ladder. I want to be in industry. So part of the contract that I had joining UCT was that I had to further my studies. I had an honors degree at the time. So I had to do masters, I had to do PhD and all of that. So when I had to choose a topic for my master's degree, firstly, even what made it easy to pick a topic was that I love tech, right? So I loved tech I was that kid in high school who had the hottest phones that you would see on a Nelly video. I don't know how I got those phones. Do not ask me. I remember not eating a couple of weeks and saving for a phone. And while looking for a topic for this master's degree, I was then searching what's trendy, what's what. And then I found the gap in BIM. A gap in a sense that I read less of it from South African literature. There was no one within our department who had it as a specific special focus. Coupled with that, the main reason I mentioned industry was that I came into academic space knowing that I want to find out why aren't we doing better.
You want to solve a problem.
Yes, I'm like, I've got problems. Well, I experienced problems being a project manager, rural infrastructure in the Northwest, from a contractor, from consulting. So I just wanted to know what could be the solution, right? I know the problems, even though, so I wanted to know, could this BIM be part of the solution to these problems? And mainly looking at, I'm all for the execution phase of construction. So my passion within industry is specifically on site productivity, like what happens.
Okay.
Yes. So I wanted to know, how can we make that part of the industry better? How can we increase productivity? How can we have better paid laborers and all of that? Like the entire supply chain of construction execution. How can it be better? Right? So I went into this BIM space and I found a bigger gap even when I went into this BIM space now, reading the literature to see that most of the content that was there, including the participants who were part of the summer school, were from engineering, design background and architectural background. We had this other gap of saying managers within built environment are underrepresented in this BIM space. So I was like, okay, take this, make it part of your own agenda now to say, if there's an opportunity for this particular method or program or whatever it is, if it has an opportunity to do better as it is advertised, how can I then be amongst the management group and not the technical design group? So that's how I latched on BIM, and I was like, if there's a future in this, I want to know how my particular discipline can help make the world a better place by implementing BIM related methodologies. Ne? So,
Before I ask you what's BIM, and I'll tell you what I thought BIM was, I will make you laugh.
Always laughing.
Why is it that there wasn't, because when I started researching BIM as well, I realized that it was very design and architecturally inclined rather than construction management, which I feel like should be also like highly integrated because it helps. Okay, yeah. Before we get, why is it that the construction management part is not as highly advertised when it comes to BIM? Is it because it's just like the engineers and architects are more inclined to adapt to new technologies, or why is that?
okay, so the quick point to that, which can help me like chat about the subject later on, the quick point on that is that the basis currently, like any method has a tool, right? So currently as we speak, the main tool in implementing BIM methodologies is design software.
Okay.
So the core of BIM currently sits around design software.
Okay.
As such, it's the program that the design team already or should be using or are using, right?
Yeah.
Unlike us now, where we need to take whatever is designed and then use additional plug-ins, schedule, cost, and all of that, right? So the main thing to answer that particular question is that the tool that is used in implementing BIM is more from the design, or the basis of it is the design. It's a design tool.
Yeah, it sits higher up in the food chain.
So it's a design tool. Then with that design tool, it allows so many other things to happen. Yes.
Okay.
But it needs to start there, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
So the reason why the focus is there because it starts there.
Yes.
Without
them, that side sort of driving it, then we can't have a model to further work on or a platform to further do whatever BIM calls for.
Yes. So what is the value then? We are going backwards. What is the value of BIM to the management of construction?
Okay, so we need to define it now.
Okay.
Is that fine? Sure.
Wait. Before you define it, can I tell you what I thought BIM was?
To say what you thought.
Listen, so I thought that BIM was like an app.
Okay.
Yeah, an app, or an app that you kind of put. Oh my God. Or an app that you put so your business can kind of be integrated. That's what I thought that BIM was. And okay. Laugh at me. What to a 3-year-old?
I'm not even laughing because that's like 90% the thought of people out there.
Yeah, and it was only after like I dived into it, because I thought, like there are people that have BIM, and they sell BIM to you and they say, "BIM, this is BIM."
No, we get that a lot. It's very common. You're not the only one.
What is BIM, Amanda?
You're not the only one. So BIM is a method.
Okay.
Yes. So BIM is a method. It's a method of delivering built infrastructure. But this method, what's special about it is that it largely focuses on the information that needs to be modeled as you are delivering built assets, right? But this information, furthermore, must be in the highest digital form that it can possibly be in.
Okay.
Right? So that's the core of BIM. It's to say it is a delivery method. So however we deliver projects, right? However, whatever method, that method that we deliver projects is, what BIM is asking that, can you do it in the highest digital form possible? And can you have a single source of truth? So the BIM methodology, as it stands, like building information modeling. So as a method, what BIM is a project delivery method that relies heavily on technology as a tool and largely relies on digital data.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of digitalization talk. What is digital? What is not? Just simply put, a scanned file in PDF format that's unreadable is not digital.
Yeah.
Even if it's sitting in a shared drive and all of you can access it, that is not the best digital form of that particular data set, especially static PDF.
What is the best the best form?
So yes, I keep on saying the highest possible form, right? So what happens in the BIM space is that there are levels of maturity in BIM execution. At the most basic, what BIM calls for, let's say, I'm even scared to use the term level 0 because it has a defined meaning to it, right? But at the most basic form, what you would find in a BIM project space is that it asks for a shared environment where the key stakeholders, whoever is defined as a stakeholder in a project, they can have access to that data set, right?
Yeah.
So that data set must be in its best digital form. What do we mean by that? If you create something from an app, you would normally get the code of that particular app. If it's Word, it's going to be .doc, right? If it's Rivet, it's going to be .rvt, right? So the point I'm getting at is that if you think about the production of built infrastructure, so we are all sitting in our computer in our different disciplines using different applications. We might be looking at the same set of drawings, but you're going to give from different views, right? And look at those views as the applications. You will open it in your own file. I'm going to open it in my own app and so on. So it gets to a point where if Upilile wants to share the project data with Amanda does not have EMS project license. But we are all part of the same team. One understand? It gets to a point where the architect might want to illustrate something to the HVAC engineer, but the HVAC engineer has got MEP type of CAD. They don't have Rivet. So ultimately what you see in the construction industry, well, in any industry, is that the growth in technologies has also made a lot of applications to be available. There's an app for everything.
Yeah.
So in there being an app for everything, what BIM calls for is to say, can these apps talk to each other? What we want is a central
house.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So the BIM method is asking, well, is calling for or is known to develop the central source of app that can make all these other apps talk to each other.
Okay.
Because what you want is a single source of truth.
I get you.
Right?
I get you.
So what has happened now, because we have many apps and sometimes they don't talk to each other, and that's where I like using that big term of interoperability and whatever. So what happens is that in cases now where people like you tend to think that BIM is an app, there are vendors who came and said, actually, Amanda, you work on your construction management type of software. There's an architect, there's an HVAC specialist, there's a structural engineer. I'm going to create an application which fuses all of your applications in responding to the BIM method. So the BIM method has got criteria that you can fulfill using any other app, but whatever app you use must talk to the other applications of the people within your team.
Yeah.
Do you see? So it then became a technology talk and not a technical project delivery talk. Where vendors now started to say, oh, we can see the benefits of this central data and how everyone might like to be part of, one type of application. So why don't we create such an application? which is where now you have applications such as BIM 360, your rivets type of applications and so on. So what has happened is the vendors have invested so much time marketing BIM from a vendor perspective. They want to convince you that BIM is Autodesk type of thing. Autodesk.
Yes.
Or
So
BIM is,
perception.
yes. So it is more vendors trying to push, and I mean, they're being fair on their side. They're providing a solution.
Yes.
Because ultimately we would sit as project team and we all have these different apps and we don't know how to work around them, right? So that is where now you see that the whole concept around BIM as a project method has just been clouded by tech.
Yes.
And it's really opened up the need for a common data environment. It really has. You know, I feel like once you spark something in people, then the hunger will follow. You know, the hunger will follow. And obviously, construction has so many moving parts, you know, and accuracy has been a challenge in a lot of projects. So with things like BIM, it really puts back the accuracy and reliability of information, which is very important. Which is very important. So last question. I really don't like speaking about this, but I also don't like ignoring it because it's I know, like I hate, you know, like in every interview.
What are you gonna say? What am I gonna say?
Women in construction.
Yes. Oh my god. Like and the thing is, like, in every interview, and it's worse when it's Women's Month.
Share something with you before you even craft your question. So I had a journalist, I don't even remember his name, I don't remember. Anywho, they never published the interview because why? I just said all the awesome things about being woman in construction and Babe annoyed with me. Because they came with this fixed sense, Yoguti, I want you to tell me about your struggles and your harassment and your Jonga, I was just, I picked the wrong view. Guti, there's that view, ne? Mara, what I'm gonna share with you is this view, my experience. He wasn't pleased, va?
And I can imagine. And
it never made it to the light of day. I could tell you what I'm here to listen to real problems.
And you know, this girl is just living in a fairy tale.
It's like I'm not even gonna give it airplay because when you do not represent the people out there. Yes, Anna, I represent me.
Listen, you know what they say. When you change the narrative of what construction women are like, they will tell you that you're privileged.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
I'm having chills as we tell.
That's what they say. No, it's because it's not.
Do you know how hard I worked to be termed privileged?
Dude.
Huh?
And you just like.
Do you know how many sleepless nights I had to have just to gain the respect in the room?
This is privilege.
Do you know how much nonsense I have to take for you to tell me this is privilege?
Yo, guys.
But why do you think the narrative is so bad?
Hey, Pili. First things first, ne?
Yeah.
Construction has been and it still is male dominated, right?
Yep.
In any industry, whether you're thinking jungle, you're thinking whatever you think of, if you're gonna disrupt the dominance, there's gonna be chaos in whatever form. One understand? So as women, my own thing coming into this space was never with the attitude of I'm here wanting there's the basic one, like what I'm about to say now. You remember when I said I try to filter as much as possible?
Yeah.
This is me unfiltered. There's this narrative, like you would hear, Guti, they don't have the same bathrooms for us. They don't have the same, we don't have change rooms. We don't have The access is not woman friendly. Lady, I got there and I would use the same toilets as them.
Hey.
I'm like, tell me, I don't have a bathroom on this side. It's fine. There's a bathroom, Moss. It's unisex. Get from now on.
It's okay. It's unisex.
One understand?
It's unisex.
One understand? But what does it mean? Because being woman, I'm exposed to just sitting on toilet, sitting at home. I need to wipe it. It's not something enter because I'm on site. I've got a boy child. He pees everywhere. One understand? We get to the work environment and we want to treat it as if now these men are different from the men we live at home. Hi, Bo. Do you have your own bathroom at home, baby girl? Hi, guys. Pick a struggle, man.
No,
I feel like you have just opened up my heart. So last year, I did so many interviews on just like when it's Women's Month, they will scramble for all the women in construction. They will scramble, and as soon as they find one, then they want to be asking you all of it, and I'm just like, can we just talk about my work in construction? Can we not speak about my gender? Can we not? And the thing is, but also, I also don't want this to be in the absence of the challenges that we face, because there are systematic challenges that we face, But everything is about attitude, I think,
Yes. So quickly, here's my response.
Being woman in construction, there's being a construction manager, period. One understand? I'm going to tell you, it's difficult managing people. It's difficult managing clients. It's difficult but those difficulties are not any different because I'm woman. One understand? If I share difficulties of a discipline, I'm not going to share you can ask me, how does it feel being a construction manager? Fine. One understand? I'm going to share those struggles. But now those narratives are being put as if, women find it difficult to manage people. Do you master people?
Yeah, it's not the
Show me the master of people. You will not find the master of people. One understand?
No, but also, Amanda, don't be unfair. Amanda, don't be unfair. I was actually asked that question very, 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 I think it was a couple of weeks ago. And I realized, I think the reason why I enjoy construction is also because of the person that I am. It's not because, don't you think that you're just a construction person?
Yes, honey. I wouldn't know what it's like to be another person.
Exactly, because you're a construction person.
I'm a construction. Yes, Hannah. Yeah, but I think I get what you mean, right? But my other thing is, why then construction? Why are you here?
What do you mean?
Why are you here if you're not a construction person?
Yeah. I get you.
One understand?
No.
Mamela Pili. I'm all for promoting the discipline. One understand? I'm all for promoting women. I'm all for promoting black. I'm all for promoting all of these things, right? But if it's not your space, why are you in it? Because there's one thing I don't want to do, Pilile, is to convince you that, we need you.
Exactly. Woo! I would rather find solid women in this industry than all of the fluff.
I have students who come up to me, Pili, and they're like, but ma'am, my character is so soft. How am I going to demand respect? I'm like, baby girl, even your silence can be commanding.
Yeah, that's so true.
You understand? There's a way in which you work around your character and what you need to fulfill for a job. But if you're not in it, and I don't want to work with you now, tell me you're in it and say, Amanda, I want to be here, but I find a character, there's a gap there.
But also, you know what the problem is? They don't speak about the gaps in the character of the men. They just automatically think that all men are fit for construction.
Yes.
When that's not the case.
Why is that the case though? If you look at it on the flip. So I've been very interested in this uplandity, like us as female, our challenge is not even construction. Our challenge is general society. You understand?
Yeah.
Because the male child has so much confidence that even if they don't know, they're not going to stand there and say, I don't know. So.
Wait, Amanda.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a room full of men who know nothing?
Yes.
Yo!
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's what I wanted to tell you
confidence in those men.
As my ultimate secret. Pilile, I did not grow the industry because I'm loud and I'm commanding and I'm whatever. You understand? You can be all of those things, and then Ama Kolam would laugh at your face.
They do.
Ama Kolam would laugh at your face. How do you gain respect? How do you get to be confident? Even if your character is silent, is not loud as Amanda, if you know your craft,
Exactly.
no one can fault you.
Exactly.
One understand?
Exactly.
You're gonna get in that meeting as silent as you are, as quiet as you are,
Exactly.
and you say, guys, but I told you there's discrepancies here. This grid does not align to that. We can't use this. But Mr. Engineer, why this particular foundation when our ground conditions are ABC?
Exactly.
One understand? There's no loud, there's no nothing, there's no Amanda Woo in your face. But your competence, it backs your confidence.
My greatest instruction to women is to, in as much as we might say you are not of a certain, you need to be of a certain caliber of woman in order to be able to command a construction room.
Son.
But the one thing that you know, like there's nothing as disappointing as being in a room and there's two females, right? There's yourself and maybe another female who's doing something that is unrelated to you.
Yeah.
But you can tell that she is not confident. You know why? Because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's just like, now you are furthering this narrative of women being in spaces where they are intimidated. When it's actually not intimidation, you just don't know what you're doing. It's that simple.
And you just explained the whole, it's global, and it's back to the female driver. When we F up on the road, oh goodness, the world stops.
Yo!
I never take the narrative to mean, okay, woman. But on the flip side, what have I done? There are things that happen on our construction sites or our industry that I don't like, right?
Okay.
So being women, we are in a space where we work with men who act like they've never seen a woman before. You would be on a construction site, Sissy.
Wait.
But also, you know what the problem is? They don't speak about the gaps in the character of the men. They just automatically think that all men are fit for construction, when that's not the case.
Yeah.
Hey, Pili. So what I'm getting at, there's that sexual, very annoying type of thing, but it doesn't only happen on our construction sites. It happens when you go out, you can't enjoy yourself. They're always trying to push you, and understand. So I don't want to limit it to just construction, but because there are so many men, there's that element of it. But what have I done? Pilile, yo jonga, my male managers would hate me, ne? I would steal all their delivery trucks because I've got cleavage and it.
Yeah.
And when a delivery truck comes and it's not for my particular section, I just flirt with the driver, direct them to my section. What do you know? Amanda's section is cast, but your concrete was meant to arrive at 3. Oh no, it wasn't mine. Done. Andithi busy ufuna isiketi yiza ke isiketi sakufaka kwi-production. I had guys who would work extra shifts because they're just excited of being in my space. Ndithi guys sicela sipushe Saturday till 4, ngicela nize Saturday. They hear because softness yam, as much as I'm soft, I'm using it to push production yam. One understand? I've taken what they deem or what others deem as a weakness. Ndayitshintsha sandi. So mna andizokuthuka ndithi hey I go to my male counterparts and go, why must you be vulgar? Why you bathuka guys? No, subathuka ngumntu lona, treat them with respect. Ndifike sana ndine nickname, ndine pet names, ndiyabancoma jonga, they are there on time.
Amanda,
I feel like you know, like Angiti, besides the marketing side of my business, I'm also a supplier. So you'll find me like on a lot of sites and having to meet a lot of people, obviously to spread the word and to get my product out there. And in as much as like you might be getting onto, like I've been like in the manufacturing space for a while, so I know how the salesy part comes, you know. But when I get onto sites, obviously now without the big name of that manufacturer, you know, now I'm just Pilile. And you know, when you get onto sites and you're a woman, automatically, if you are going to come from a place of lack, they will choke you alive. They will choke you alive. I use my femininity to bring us a different level of what construction is supposed to be. And it works in my favor. And it's not because now I'm all there being all, now I am so sexy. Ooh, you know, but it's I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm here for. I know what's supposed to happen. And I just need us to work at a place where we're both comfortable.
Thank you.
Because if they would have eaten you in construction, and I think that this is very important. I love this for us. If you weren't gonna make it in construction because of your attitude, you're not gonna make it in fashion, you're not gonna make it in tech, you're not gonna make it in, it's not because it's just construction here and there are wolves that are gonna eat you. It's so
Wolves are everywhere, Lavi.
They're everywhere. But at the same time, we have rough days, Amanda.
Of course. Of course.
You have rough days.
Yo.
As
And no one is going to understand the menstrual cycle. Good, hey guys, it's just that time.
I'm like, have you ever been on site?
Yo.
On your menstruation?
You, the team would even.
And the sun is right here. PMS is telling you, you know what? Punch him.
The plastic toilet.
Punch him now. Punch him. But we do it. So
We are disruptors, Sanimna. I told myself, Yepili, I quit my first construction job after 7 days.
Why?
I was like, no, I'm expecting to carry a checklist and do engineering stuff. You out here, ngovi concrete, ngovu daga, ngithola amaplanga. I'm like, no, guys, I'm here to be a professional. I quit, va. That bees, what a baby girl. The point I'm getting at is that we have most of us who come out, like construction, its very nature is dirty, ne? This is now site construction, you understand?
Yeah.
We are coming out as managers from universities and technicons and colleges. We are there to manage people who grew up in the trade. And we don't want to get our hands dirty. How else are you going to know the texture of your sand? If when ufuna uhlala uphatha iPad, how else are you going to know ukuthi this cement is 32N, my fageki 42 bag? What do you know about your material? You understand? So I wanted to be clean from the get-go. Kanti, where you gain the competences in the dirt.